I was actually told by Tom Cahill about the Ken O'Keefe latest. I don't particularly get on with Tom, but I do think he's a good researcher. He's an interesting man, um, and I think, as I said, I don't know him well enough to. Well, I hardly know him at all. But anyway, he gave me this link to Ken O'Keefe. And I'm familiar with Ken O'Keefe, and I thought he was honest in the sense that what he said was honest. But as I previously mentioned, it's not enough to say the truth. It's also important to be a truthful person. Now, it may be that Ken O'Keefe, I'm saying it may be, that Ken O'Keefe was authorised to say the truth with the intention of subsequently being revealed to create a disturbance in the truth movement. Right? Now, I'm not going to hold Ken accountable for the fact that he is dating a young, attractive woman. That's totally understandable. If I had the opportunity to do so, I would do so myself. Most men are attracted to younger women. That's a fact. So there's nothing wrong with Ken being sexually attracted to younger women. There's no suggestion that this young woman is underage, and therefore it's all totally legal and all totally normal. In fact, in this day and age, it might even be a bit too normal, where the government keep on persuading us that it's actually great to be gay, and that to be gay is the new normal. Anyway, Ken O'Keefe isn't gay, that's for sure. Now, the point I'm saying is this. Why would Ken allow himself to be filmed in this lascivious way? He's driving a car without a shirt on. The woman with him is really hamming it up big time for the camera with a selfie. Kind of childish, actually. A bit childish. And who authorised and where did this video come from? I mean, did Ken's girlfriend put it up on the internet? I mean, presumably she must know that Ken O'Keefe is a marked man. Or should be. Unless, of course, he works for the usual suspects. Now, the point needs to be asked, why did Ken allow himself to be filmed like that? I mean, if I was involved in the big stuff that Ken's involved in, being a famous man and I'm unfamous, I would be very unwilling to allow myself to be filmed in this compromising way, because he's actually inviting trouble. There's no point in taking a video. It's going to be released. Okay, that's why people take these things. It's like selfies. Nobody takes a selfie unless it's with the intention of publishing it. So the reality is, even if Ken is innocent, his reckless behaviour has created yet another division in the truth movement. So the suspicion is that either Ken O'Keefe or Max Igan, or maybe even both of them, are playing a game. Now, a guy I respect, Martin Vrijland, who's a Dutch researcher, he doesn't suffer fools gladly. His opinion is that Ken O'Keefe is a perfect CIA agent, world citizen, 25th of January 2016. Now, I talked to Martin on Skype, and he alerted me to this. I'll leave a link on my channel. It's in Dutch, but you can use a search translation to translate it. I was always very suspicious of Ken O'Keefe's extremely large tattoo collection. For me, there's something rather sinister and Masonic about tattoos. Someone wrote, and I don't know if it's true, that the teardrop under Ken O'Keefe's left eye is a symbol that you've killed someone. Well, I mean, anyone who's been in the Marines in combat, many people have killed many soldiers. But unlike common criminals, they don't actually get arrested for it. Soldiers are allowed to kill people. I would really hate to have that on my conscience. It would really bother me. It would definitely stop me sleeping at night if I ever took someone's life. But there are lots of psychos out there who wouldn't have a problem with that. Now, I've always liked what Ken O'Keefe says. The only thing I didn't like was the tattoos. But I did find his story about Gaza, getting in and out of Gaza, a bit too implausible. I mean, I would be very frightened to go to Israel, even as a tourist, because I know what these people are capable of. So the idea that Ken O'Keefe can get into Gaza from Israel, he'd be a marked man. So the question needs to be asked, was Ken O'Keefe invited by the Israelis to go to Israel in order to eventually be exposed as a troublemaker? Because maybe Ken O'Keefe didn't feel in any danger. I mean, he was supposedly on the Gaza flotilla. I don't know, and did he disarm 2 Israelis? Who knows? It's all very theatrical. I myself wouldn't particularly, you know. I mean, I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with men with machine guns, right? I mean, it was obvious that the Israelis were going to take control of that ship. I mean, people could put up some passive resistance, and but at the end of the day, the Israelis had the support of NATO, the EU, and the global press, so they were always going to win that battle, rightly or wrong. We live in a world where the evil people win because they control public perception, they control the media, they control the law courts, they control the police, they control public perception. And so, according to Martin Ryland, Ken O'Keefe is a perfect CIA agent. And this was written in January 2016. As I said, I'll leave you a link to this. I don't have a problem with Ken O'Keefe's attraction for young women. I do have a problem with the fact that he allowed that video to be made. Clearly he knew it was being made. He must have realised that it would emerge online. His girlfriend must be very, very stupid if she published that video. I mean, it was kind of a stupid thing to do. I mean, she must understand that Ken O'Keefe works, supposedly works for anti-establishment, and that a video such as that would be misused by his enemies to make him seem sleazy and so on. So, as for Max Igan, he reminds me an awful lot, and I don't say this is not a compliment, he reminds me an awful lot of another tough-talking Australian, PK. Now, I've had run-ins with PK in the past. As I said, I have no evidence to suggest that PK is a COINTEL pro or whatever, but I do know from experience. I mean, I found it very odd that PK had his channel reinstated. I don't get my channel reinstated. I wasn't nearly as popular as PK. PK was a very popular channel. But I always thought there was something wrong with PK, and I wasn't terribly surprised when the Postal Service discovered that PK was an IMDb actor who had acted in various roles as a victim of terrorism. That does seem a bit of a coincidence, right? Just like the supposed shooter at the gay nightclub in Orlando was also an IMDb actor, right? So could it be that Ken O'Keefe is an actor and that he's been allowed to do this, and that, like many other people, I mean, Charlie Veitch comes to mind. I mean, the difference between Charlie Veitch and Ken O'Keefe is Ken O'Keefe was actually plausible. And yet, despite that fact, a lot of people I know, I mean, I find it hard. I mean, I almost think it's unforgivable to be. I mean, if Ken O'Keefe is indeed a CIA agent, then at least you'd be forgiven for not thinking so, because he did a great job in acting the role of a genuine truth seeker. Whereas with Charlie Veitch, I mean, it was absolutely clear the very first time I saw him. I mean, it was a screamer. It was a screaming, embarrassing that anyone could fall for him. The love police. I mean, for God's sake, how childish is that? It's pathetic. But like I said, I'm not saying that Ken O'Keefe is a CIA agent. And I'm not criticising Ken O'Keefe for having a young girlfriend. But I do believe that this bust-up with Max Igan, which comes at the same time that Ken O'Keefe has released, or his girlfriend's released, a kind of a sleazy video of him being topless in a car, showing off his multiple tattoos as she's hamming it up big time, right? And then Max Igan accuses him of this World Citizen Initiative of being a pyramid scheme, which it may well be. It may well be. I mean, I don't follow Max Igan, although according to some people he's quite well known, right? I don't follow people, I follow ideas. I'm not a supporter of, if you follow ideas, you will not be let down. If you follow people, you will be let down. And the problem with the majority of people who describe themselves as truth seekers is they make the huge mistake of following personalities. And if you do that, you're going to be disappointed, because what's going to happen is two of the personalities that you respect are going to clash. I mean, for example, Jim Fetzer, a guy I like, I respect him. I've spoken to him quite a lot online. I think he's an honest man. Some people don't think so. But the point about Jim Fetzer is he clashed with Veterans Today, and he had all his work removed. So now people who like Veterans Today are going to have to decide, are they going to carry on with Jim Fetzer, or are they going to back Veterans Today? I mean, so the point is, Veterans Today, Charlie Veitch, Ken O'Keefe, PK, and many others, their role may be to tell the truth, or approximately the truth, for a long time, to develop a cult following, right? To do some exciting things that win the adulation of the public. I mean, if Ken O'Keefe did the things he's supposed to have done, then I myself have to bow down in front of him, because I would not have the balls to do those things. You know, I wouldn't have the balls to do those things. You know, call me an armchair warrior if you like, but I'm certainly not going to go and crawl through tunnels to Gaza, knowing, as I will do, what the Israelis are capable of. Right? They would kill you. They could easily kill you, and they would say it was your own fault, and the British government would support the people who killed me. If there's ever any conflict between the Israeli government and British citizens, the British government would always support the Israelis. That's a fact. This is the world we live in. So, who's to blame? What's going on? I don't exactly know what's going on, but it isn't good. And it's yet another nail in the coffin of the truth movement. But you can avoid this problem in future if, instead of following people, you follow issues. Right? It's not Ken O'Keefe you need to follow. What Ken O'Keefe has said is not invalidated even if he becomes revealed to be a fraud. The reason for that is, even he may be saying the truth for the wrong reasons, because these people are honey traps. They're honey traps. They let these people go out there, they attract a following, and then then we had the same thing with Dr. Judy Wood, right? We had a similar thing with September Clues and Colin Alexander, the clashing that went on, right? So there's so many of these events that take place within the nominal truth movement, and it's a constant divide and rule, divide and rule, divide and rule. Make sure that anybody who gets to a position of moral authority is then exposed as an agent to such an extent that the general public will not be able to trust anybody. Incidentally, I am being trolled. All my videos are being marked down, and Google are assisting people committing criminal crimes against me. Okay, so I'd be very grateful if you like what I'm saying. Would you please mark my videos up, copy my videos, and please tell other people about what's happening. Thank you.